Welcome everyone to the SERL Hot Wheels Cup Series Season 2 Race 9 at Kansas Speedway. A crowd of 72,000 plus has attended for this race, and it should be a very intense, action-packed race based on the test races that we've seen. We've seen several cautions, and sometimes it's even been hard to even get like a full lap after a restart. But but who knows? I could be wrong on my prediction. But and last time we were here, I remember the race. It was won by Jim Kelly, and that win would sort of like tell everyone like, "Hey, this driver is a championship contender." But other than that, I remember like I think there was like a couple cautions, like maybe like two cautions early, but then the last several laps, it might have been like the last like 10 plus laps were like green flag through what I remember. And Jim Kelly, he does start deep in the field, but I think that if he can like find more speed, he could be a driver to watch out for. And so far this weekend, Garrettson won in the truck race in pretty dominating fashion, and then in total dominating fashion, leading every single lap, Phil Goldberg won the American Ethanol Series race. And one driver that just flat out dominated last week was Johnny Worth in the 48, got his second career win of the season. But the thing is, because he had a couple of rough weeks before that didn't elevate him to as it didn't elevate him in the points as high as I might have thought he would have. Still not even points, but the good thing is that for him, there were many drivers in front of him in points that struggled, and that could and if he can get himself out to the front, he could be the points leader. Or we could have drivers like Cody Hagan, Bubba Buchanan, Biff Crafton, Andrew Gorman, or Isaac Nichols get good finishes and maintain their positions. A lot can happen tonight at Kansas as we will go around the track for 41 laps. So this should be a long race, and I hope that you will enjoy it. Now let's get the green flag. Here is the starting lineup. So the top 10 from first attempt are Cody Hagan, Blaine Keys, Justin Thomas, Austin Candy, Bubba Buchanan, Andrew Brandt, Kendall Minoa, Riley Smith, Alan Souza, and O'Neill Baldwin. That is your top 10. Andrew Brandt, last week's winner, starts 14th. Bubba Buchanan is the points leader, starts 5th. And here is the rest of the field. Garrettson, the Truck Series winner, starts a dead last for, I think, the second day in a row. And Phil Goldberg, who I believe is in this race somewhere. I just cannot seem to find him. I think he's in this race. I just don't remember what car he is if he is in this race. But anyway, I think that we are definitely going to be in for a while, for a much more wilder run. I think it's going to be a more wilder race than the other two races. But anyway, Cody Hagan got his first career pole, and he will lead us to the green flag at Kansas. This time a pretty even start, unlike the last 2 days where the driver on the inside really was able to pull away. But now, as they go into turn number 1, Cody Hagan is going to have the preferred line on the inside, and here now comes Justin Delabas looking to maybe pounce heading into turn number 3. And as I said before, Cody Hagan and Bubba Buchanan here. Cody Hagan is just 1 point behind Bubba Buchanan, so I think Bubba Buchanan would like to get all the points he would like to get here. Oh my goodness, here, and Justin Delabas here goes around. Off the front, Bubba Buchanan, I believe. Oh my goodness. I think it was on his roof. Oh, Biff Crafton gets involved. Blaine Keys gets involved. Oh my goodness, Frankie Reed involved. Oh my goodness, what the heck? What are we seeing here? Paying Keys to Carter Sinclair? And maybe more drivers involved. Oh my goodness, that was quite the way to start the crash, but it looks like we actually had a spin coming off of turn number 2, so it turns out what happened with Justin Columbus did not bring out the caution, but I believe that was contact between Justin Columbus and Bubba Buchanan, so for the second day in a row, our first caution is a crash, or possibly our first wreck is a wreck that happened uh, way up front. But let's take a look and see what happened possibly first possibly coming off of turn number 2, and then what happened off of turn number 4. What happened coming off of turn number 4 was very similar to a turn 4 wreck that took out quite a bit of drivers. But this one has slightly different outcome. Payne Keys and Dean Orton get together, and then they hook down right into William Bedford and Frankie Reed. William Bedford saves it. Frankie Reed cannot. I think Aiden Saunders got a piece of it, and then Frankie Reed was actually able to get going initially, but Payne Keys not so much here. But this was what initially brought the caution, and now let's show you what happened coming out of turn number 4, because there were actually 2 wrecks that happened coming out of turn number 4. This was the wreck that we didn't caught on the air live. Car Sinclair and Cameron Gallatin get together, and that caused them here to come right down right here. And Connor Breen has nowhere to go. Pierce Aviano does an amazing job right here to get slow down timer here. And Saunders gets a piece of it. So does Biff Crafton. Daniel Boyles would also get pretty significant damage, and so that's how Biff Crafton was so far behind, and this got involved in what happened with Justin Columbus, which now we'll show you what happened right there. For some reason, when I do these videos, I seem to have very short memory loss, because it was not Justin Columbus and Bubba Buchanan who made contact. It was Justin Columbus and Blaine Keys who made contact coming off of turn number 4, and that caused Justin Columbus here to get hooked right down into Alan Souza, and Alan Souza does an amazing job right here to save the car, and then Blaine Keys has nowhere to go when Justin Columbus goes back across the racetrack here, and then he goes upside down right here, and so he's already had a pretty wild ride, but things are about ready to get worse. He comes down the racetrack here, and Biff Crafton just has nowhere to go. But wait, we're not done yet here. Frankie Reed has nowhere to go, hits Biff Crafton almost head on, and then Car Sinclair trying to get slowed down here just gets rammed over by Hayden Keys, and Car Sinclair goes over on his lip, but gets back on the wheels. Anyway, that is all the crashes that occurred. Now let's go onboard some drivers. You could say Justin Columbus did go a little too high, but I feel like that this early in the race, like I said yesterday in the American Ethanol Series race, I just feel like that this type of racing early on is just uncalled for. I've said a couple of times this season about how Car Sinclair has had ups and downs in this series, and while this is definitely a down, it's also another wild ride. I would say that Aiden Saunders comes into this race a little under the radar. 14 points, so he's had both good and bad finishes, and even though he did get pieces of it, he still did an amazing job avoiding the just disasters. Already a ton of DNFs. Blaine Keys, Car Sinclair, Justin Delabus, Biff Crafton, Frankie Reed, and Payne Keys are all out of the race. I think that's the most DNFs to start off a race so far this weekend. But anyway, here is the rest of the field. And now Cody Hagan, who the pole center, will lead us back to the green flag. But as I said, if Bub Buchanan can get around him and then stay there, it could mean it could help him extend his points lead. But Cody Hagan gets the better restart, and Bubba Buchanan is going to be under attack from Kendall Maynor in the 21. Kendall Maynor in the 21 last week, he had a pretty wild ride at Riki, getting a bump from Cameron Gallatin in the 6, resulting in a crash mid-race. And if that didn't happen, I think he could have been. I think it could have been a good day. He's currently not that bad in points. 13th in points right now, so he's had his mixture of good and bad finishes. And if he can finish around this area, it could be a huge game for him in points. But he just got passed by Isaac Nichols, who has led the points lead on 2 different occasions, and Eric Almahart, who comes into this race. I don't believe he's not inside the top 25 in points entering this race, so it's not really been that great of a season for him. But anyway, up front, Bubba Buchanan, it seems like that he's gained some ground on Cody Hagan here, as Kendall Maynor continues to fall back. Did we have another caution? Okay, no caution. I don't know why I thought we did. But anyway, Cody Hagan here, he continues to lead. Who had the faster lap at time? Oh, interesting. Nick Smith, Garrett Sinor, um, Luke Walker, the 7 of Club Crafton, and the 44 of Torn Dieter. That's your top 5 fastest laps. And right behind this top 3 here, we now all of a sudden have Andrew Gorman and O'Neal Baldwin are here into the mix. And right behind this group right here, we have Lisa Gonzalez here, who has just had a struggling season. There have been moments where this driver has been running just very solid, but then all of a sudden they get taken out in something. And now all of a sudden here, lead change, Bubba Buchanan gets to the point. But now the question is, can he stay there? We've seen in both of our races, the Truck Series and the American Ethanol Series, about how after the first lead change, the leader was really able to stay there, and they did not lose the lead unless there was something like lap traffic, which that played into effect of who won in the truck race. But so far, pretty calm, which has kind of surprised me. I really expected another caution to come out by this point. Well, it looks like everyone is racing pretty calm so far. And now, all of a sudden, Isaac Nichols looks like he's going to try to go to the point here. He's on the inside, Bubba Buchanan. But Bubba Buchanan throws the block. Oh, no, he can't do it. Isaac Nichols is going to go to the inside here, and Isaac Nichols will now lead this lap. So, Isaac Nichols, every time it's like every time he gets the points lead, he loses it the next race, but then when he's not the points leader, he can perform very, very well. So maybe at some point later this season, if he can continue these strong finishes, they can maybe find something right here. But anyway, now all of a sudden now we're gonna have a new leader, Luke Walker in the 482, a driver that has had a lot of success in the Truck Series, but not in this series. This is the only other series that he's in. Well, when I look at the points, yep, I'm correct. It's not been that great of a season for him. Outside the top 25, he leads a lap, but now Nick Smith in 38, who we saw a couple laps ago, who had the fastest lap times here. But now Cody Hagan looks to get the lead back, and he will. So it looks like that. If this continues, we'll probably have lead changes almost every lap or two. And the more we race 2 and 3 wide, the chances of huge calamity. But now Nick Smith here, it looks like that he's now officially trying to get to the point. The driver who has led the most laps is still at 22 Pennzoil Ford. But Nick Smith, it looks like now he'll finally be able to lead a lap and maybe stay there. But oh my goodness, here, this is some close racing here back here. Torn Dieter and Ariana Parks are starting to come into the picture. Ariana Parks, I gotta say, I don't think I've talked about her like too much this season, but she has had a very solid season for this rookie. And it looks like now she's gonna get inside the top 5 and maybe contend for the lead. But I'm just gonna keep my eye on this back because things are getting very antsy back here. Luke Walker, ooh, Ariana Parks. Oh, and we got a crash behind him right here. Crash behind him. Luke Walker saves it, and so is Ariana Parks, but behind them, nope. Lisa Gonzalez once again in trouble. LJ Mills, Matt Hoshkis here. I think, ooh, Kevin Saunders, his rough season will continue. Club Crafton with some damage, yeah. So it turns out that I had a feeling something was gonna happen right here in this pack, but it turns out that's not where the trouble happened. The trouble actually happened when it did look like it was either Lisa Gonzalez or Club Crafton who went into the outside wall very, very hard. And that crash kind of came out of nowhere. So let's take a look and see what happened to bring out the caution on lap 15. The amount of 2 and 3 wide and the amount of shuffling going on led to me thinking that we are going to have a crash if this continues. And in this case, that's what happened here. Club Crafton hooks Austin Kennedy. And Lisa Gonzalez here just gets hooked here into the outside wall. Matt Hosh gets involved, and Clint Buchanan also has nowhere to go. Clint Buchanan comes in just race 6 points, so that's going to be a huge hit. Johnny Mills gets some damage. Kevin Saunders gets some damage. So does Kendall Minor, Jim Kelly, Pierre Saviano, LJ Mills, Dale Scott, and Riley Smith. And it looks like, wait, did Andrew Brandt get some damage in that? I wasn't looking. I think he actually got stopped just barely, just in time, barely. But overall, I'm kind of surprised that wasn't like that crash did take out a lot of drivers, but I'm surprised that the level of that the amount of damage was not as like big and major as I would had thought it had been. But anyway, now let's go on board someone. Clint Buchanan comes into spray 6 in points, as I said, and this is definitely going to be a huge hit. And his car spun like a top despite not getting hit by almost anyone. Cars were wrecking all around Kendall Waynor, and even though he got a piece of it, it still does not look like there's damage on this 21 machine. Clint Buchanan and Club Crafton are out of the race, and I don't know what happened to Jacob Reed at 19, but this is definitely, that finisher there is going to take him outside the top 25 when it wasn't too long ago that we were saying that he was inside the top 3 in points. So Jacob Reed is on a little bit of a bad luck streak here. But anyway, now Nick Smith, who earlier in the race showed that he had one of, if not the fastest lap times, will lead us back to the green flag. But Ariana Parks in that 5, I think that at some point this number 5 machine is going to get a victory lane just because of the speed that they're showing, but she's definitely not going to be a winner on this restart here because she's going to get passed by Luke Walker, and now Luke Walker in the 42 is looking to pass Nick Smith. So Luke Walker, he got a very good restart. He's looking inside, and he's going to take it. And right behind these two here, Bobby Buchanan is trying to get back into the mix. O'Neal Baldwin and Cody Hagan is also trying to get back up to the front. Man, I can like never talk in these videos, can I? Like, my speech is a lot more better if you were to watch my season 1 clips, but oh my god, why can I not talk straight? But anyway, Luke Walker here, he is still the leader. Torrin Jeter in the 44 here got up to second, but now he's not gonna get shuffled to the high side. And Luke Walker will now has a pretty, I don't know if I would call it a comfortable lead, but actually his lead is now going to get even bigger now. And now all of a sudden here we're now starting to see a couple of new drivers here up front, maybe as contend for the one. Garrett Sinner, didn't this driver start dead last when the race started, and now at the halfway point he is now all of a sudden got himself up to the front, looking to win two out of 3 races. He had one really good race, and then he had one really bad race. A first in the Truck Series, but then a dead last in the American Ethanol Series. But look, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to keep that position for much longer, because here comes Cody Hagan, and here comes Nick Smith. Here. As they are still going 2 and 3 wide right here for the most part, but it looks like things are starting to calm down. Here, and Luke Walker, he is still your leader at Kansas. Nick Smith trying to take third away from Cody Hagan. And let's go back to the Packer here. Lisa Gonzalez is off the Pesos, Kevin Saunders, and many other drivers are here. Cameron Blake goes a little high. But I still feel like that very late in the race, actually it's not very late, we just got passed halfway. I still feel like that there are still maybe a good like 10 drivers that could still have a good chance of winning this thing. But now Garrett Sinner here underneath Luke Walker, and it looks like that if he can get by him, he will lead the next lap. And it looks like that he will. But Nick Smith also has a fast car, and Nick Smith is looking to take this. He's looking to grab this trophy as well. Oh my goodness here! What? Who was that? That was Charles Bellinger here on the apron, I believe. Whoa! And he was in the 7th position. So something is wrong with the 46 machine. So tough breaker hammer here, but oh my goodness here, they are all over the place here, and oh my goodness, this is not good. This is not good right here. We're gonna keep our eyes on this pack. Maybe go to the helicopter as we look at Daniel Voiles. And on the right of the screen, you'll see what's happening inside the top 10. Yeah, when Charles Bowen slowed down, that really just it rolled up like almost the entire field, but looks like everything is gonna be fine. And now Garrett Sinner here leads another lap here as O'Neal Baldwin has gone to the 2nd place position, back up to the pack. Are things going to get sorted out here? We gotta watch. Ooh. And Saunders, Andrew Gorman. Ooh, that was a little close. Cameron Blake, Andrew Brandt. Oh my goodness, here. Oh, they clip. Where's Andrew Brandt going to reposition here? Oh my goodness, almost 4 wide right there. And actually, that's actually gonna help Andrew Brandt. Oh my goodness, oh my god, Daniel Wills here and Dean Orrin get together. Daniel Wills off in the grass. That's not gonna help him at all. That grass will definitely slow you down. And it could cause overheating here. But now he's gonna lose even more positions here because he is stuck on the apron. Oh my gosh, there's some pretty wild action here going on, but one thing that has stayed the same is Garrett Sinner here. He has now led the past couple laps. But Nick Smith is now back up to second place. Cody Hagan is also up front. Torn Deere here trying to get back up to the front. His highest position has been a second here. And as you can see, it looks like when Charles Billon here had issues right here. Wait a second, Bubba Buchanan. He's having issues right here. Oh my goodness. Oh, the caution's out here. So, oh yeah, okay, so these drivers are already back to the line, and there was a caution coming off of turn number 4. Lisa Gonzalez and Charles Billon seem to be the two drivers involved. Ooh, and Songs are here. Oh my goodness. If he doesn't get going right here. Oh my goodness, Garrett Sinart. Okay, ooh, Garrett Sinart and those drivers just slowed up just in time right here. But it looks like this was a pretty big crash coming off of turn number 4. Let's take a look and see what happened. This all got started when Cameron Gauntlett and Alan Sousa made contact, and that caused them to go right down into Dean Orrin, which then Connor Breen got collected, so did Ian Saunders. Cameron Gauntlett also got collected right here, and Kenneth Minora had nowhere to go. Right here, this crash got worse here. There were a couple drivers here that I did an amazing job right here, like Riley Smith and LJ Mills here, but when Lisa Gonzalez got into the back of Kenneth Minora, that's what caused her to spin around, and Matt Hotchkiss also helped a little bit here. But this right here was kind of insult to injury here, because look at Charles Billon. Lisa Gonzalez goes down that restrictor here, and Charles Billon gets collected. So it looks like her rough night is officially going to come to an end after this crash, it looks like. And now, let's use a flyby, or let's go on board another driver. It honestly didn't feel like that. We were talking about Ariana Parks not that long ago, about her being up front, and maybe being someone that could contend for the win, but I think when Charles Billon slowed down, it really caused drivers like her to just fall off and continue to lose positions. But I gotta say, she was inches away from hitting some of these cars that weren't involved. The way Connor Breen got collected was pretty much almost identical to how Clint Buchanan got collected in the last crash. Why not? Let's go on board Charles Billon as he almost avoided this crash. But at the last second, nope. I think he was already going way too fast at this point, and then got slowed down. But it was still too late. The only two drivers that are going to DNF after that last crash are Charles Billon and Lisa Gonzalez, as pretty much expected. And here is where everyone else will restart. So it feels like that what started out as maybe like a good 10-15 drivers that could potentially win this thing. I think it is now, if I'm using this right, shriveled down to maybe 4 or 5 drivers, but who knows? When we go back racing here, it'll be 7 more laps to go, and Garrett Sinor, he won the truck race, and when when that truck race was going on, it was under the lights, and that's what this race, and those are the conditions that we're running at tonight. So it seems like Garrett Sinor seems to have it seems like, especially this season, Garrett Sinor seems to have a good grip on night tracks, because the thing is, he's kind of close to winning at tracks like Seattle in the Truck Series, which was also under the lights, so Garrett Sinor seems to have a better night package than day package, maybe. But Garrett Sinor in this series, even though he has run pretty poorly, he has had some good races. Like, I felt like that when we were at a mile and a half racetrack earlier in the season, like Atlanta, he was up front, but yet he was stuck behind a lap car and got turned, and that didn't bring out the caution. He finished 12th in that race, or 11th, but it was still not the finish that I think he was happy for. But anyway, he has been able to maintain his lead, and Luke Walker right here is right behind him. But I don't think we can give this to Garrettson, or I don't think we can give the trophy to Garrettson right away, because there are some hungry drivers right behind him that I think at some point will try to make a move. Luke Walker here looks like he just has the better car, and he's gonna go to the inside, gets a good run off turn 2, and is not gonna go to the bottom. So now here we go, battle for the leader here, heading into turn stand 4. Garrettson, he's not gonna be able to make the block, and now here comes Luke Walker to the lead. Cody Hagan right behind them, along with Nick Smith. If Garrettson can get to the bottom, that could really help him, but it doesn't look like he's gonna have any time. Wait, maybe. Never mind. He's able to go to the bottom right here, but here comes Nick Smith in the 38. Sometimes when you make moves like that, especially if you don't have the best car out there, it's really hard to go to the bottom and be able to stay there. And it looks like Garrettson has not really has not really been able to find that out. So now all of a sudden it looks like now Luke Walker could be in a great position to take this one away. But Nick Smith in 38, I don't really know who's actually led the most laps, but I think it's either a toss-up between Cody Hagan, Nick Smith, and Garrettson, who've all led dozens of laps today. But oh, okay, for a second there, I thought that was gonna get ugly. Luke Walker here. We just have 2 more laps to go. Can Luke Walker hold on, or will someone like Nick Smith or Cody Hagan make a move very late? Oh, my guys are here. Matt Hosh is here. He is off the pace right here. And while I don't think they'll catch him, could they catch him? Oh, never mind. The caution's out. The caution is out of the race here. So this race will end, and Luke Walker will be the winner of this race. Andrew Brandt has some heavy damage here. But Luke Walker, unless he has an engine failure, this race will end under caution. But anyway, and this crash appears to have taken place coming in the middle of turn number 2. Let's take a look and see what happened, as it seems like Andrew Brandt got the worst of it. I don't really have too much to say other than the way this crash happened was pretty much like every other crash has happened so far this weekend, and the fact of how Andrew Brandt is going to finish poorly once again after it looked like in the past couple weeks he had gotten his groove back, but today was just not his day. I'm kind of surprised that he was the only driver that was involved in that. But anyway, now let's show you the finishing results. The race is now in the books, and Luke Walker is our winner after taking the lead away from Garrett Sinor after that final restart. But anyway, here's the top 10. Luke Walker, Nick Smith, Garrett Sinor, Cody Hagan, Isaac Nichols, Abe Troxel, Noah Baldwin, Eric Almerhart, Bubby Buchanan, and Torin Dieter. That's your top 10. I think our points leader will be Cody Hagan, just because he came into this race 1 point behind Bubby Buchanan, and he exceeded that. And here is the rest of the field. So overall, when I look at some of the drivers that I finished very, very poorly, I just gotta say right off the bat that I think that this was a race that Justin Galapagos and Blaine Keys could have been big factors in, but they got caught up in a mess. So it looks like the reason why Charles Billing did fall off was because of a tire failure, which I believe is the first time we've seen that all season long. So pretty interesting. Other than that, Clip Buchanan, as I said before, came into this race pretty high in points, so he's going to be a big loser, along with a couple of other drivers. But for the most part, I think it's pretty much all I gotta say. And I know I kind of say this like every single week, but once again, I do not remember where all 3 of these series are going. I don't think it's a triple header. I think all 3 series are going to 3 different tracks, I believe, but I just don't know. So, if you're a fan of the series, you might be in for a surprise. But anyway, I would like to thank everyone for watching this race. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and buy. Congrats to Luke Walker.